everybody. What are we looking at today? Well, today, Flask number 42. Nice and clear. Definitely a lighter color than some. Definitely has some legs to it. Smells good. It's got like this little bit of a uniqueness going on. The typical vanilla. It's not as oaky as some. Almost has like a candy sweetness, but I can't put my nose on exactly. Well, cheers. Scotch, and obviously I'm not going to give a complete evaluation on the first sip, but compared to the smell, leather. That's what that extra smell is. Kind of it's got the new car smell, like leather and like a wax. Yeah, I know. Smile Money is like, the way you describe these things, why would anybody want to consume it? It's an excellent question. But I'm getting a lot more out of the smell than I did out of the flavor. Alright, now I'm starting to get more. It's probably because I had David Brown's meat in my mouth just before I turned the camera on. I'm sticking with Scotch though. Yeah, definitely Scotch. Only on Sundays though. Okay, didn't do a brew review yesterday. Could have. Matt wanted to do one with me. I went to the range. Me and David left a little early due to that whole spring ahead and the whole clock thing. He's like, yeah, I'll be up before 7, and I go, yeah. Even on days where I sleep in, I'm usually up before 7 o'clock, and it's I rolled over and looked at the clock, and it said 6:45, and I was like, yeah, doing okay. Get up, have a quick bite, some coffee, pull some guns and ammo together, figure out what I even want to bring up there. Night before, the camera, this camera, because it's other than the overhead camera that I got from Stephen Bush, it's the only camera I have, and I have to. It's like permanently plugged in. I actually have the thing soldered to the board. Got all 3 of my batteries all charged, and even contemplated bringing the GoPro, but I know this doesn't sound weird as a YouTube person. For me, and I know Smile Money would be 100% in agreement with me, bringing cameras and shit to the range is usually not, I just go to have fun, and it's like I realize people want to see the content of shooting and all. So I had all 3 of the batteries all charged for this, and kind of picked out kind of what I wanted to bring. me and Dave, our buddy Tom, who is also a range officer, was planning on being up there. And last Sunday he wanted me to bring my AR pistol to show to somebody. I never made it up there last weekend, and so I just there's so much stuff. But I mean, it was 50, 55 or 54 degrees, and this is like the first day. So let's see, it's an outdoor range with a fair amount of members, and it's the first nice day of the shooting season. I mean, people have been up there. I mean, we've been up there a lot, but I mean, an actual beautiful day. I'm just like, I'm not going to take a ton of stuff because, you know, there's probably going to be a shit ton of people out there. I get up there, and Tom was shooting on the range. I think he was by himself when we got there. And then a guy came with his group to do conceal and carry, the range part, and he just asked if he could have the range for 15 minutes. And then they left, and another couple of guys showed up. One of them was a first-time shooter. His friend was bringing him up there to. Oh, he had a beautiful CZ. So long story short, I got all set up so that I could do some shooting with the MCK, and turned the camera on, and it went bloop. Insert memory card. Motherfucker! Yeah, I didn't bring the memory card, so I didn't have the camera. Doesn't have an internal anything, and thankfully though my cell phone actually takes a better picture than this, but I didn't have my little mount for it, which then got me thinking, what did I do with that? Because I thought I had just recently pulled that thing out. Found it on Amazon, mounts to a tripod, and it basically just opens up and consumes your phone. But I did not have that in my camera bag. Another fail. So I had to rely on David Brown to be my camera guy, and in David's defense, he didn't want to be my camera guy. He didn't plan on being my camera guy, and the sun was so frickin' bright, you could actually not see what the thing was, what you were aiming at. If you went like this, like goggles, you could still not see. It was so frickin' bright out there. Then the snow made things even brighter. So very first thing I shot was the MCK, and I shot the 30 rounder. The SG mag. I shot the 30 rounder without an issue, and didn't look like I hit anything on the target that I was aiming at, which made sense because when I brought out a target half the size of that 55-inch TV, I shot. If I was say shooting right here. All of my rounds landed about right here, so I walked the red dot over and up, and I could have drawn bullets around her nipples with it. I honestly could not believe how accurate it was as this. Because I took it out of the chassis and then tried doing the same grouping we were at about 15 yards. Tried to do that same grouping. I was all over the place. With this, it was 5 shots and 1 hole. So the stability that this offers. And then, of course, if Tom and David were to chime in, things went seriously downhill. I started having the slide locking back on live rounds in the mag. It was having a failure to feed problem. It was a shit ton of light primer strikes, and I tried I tried taking the gun out of the MCK, and things got a lot better, which didn't make any sense to me. Made absolutely no sense to me, because there is like none. There is no hesitation. As a matter of fact, if you bring this to the last minute, when it's up against that wall and let go, it still goes forward and locks in. I tried putting my stock barrel back in it, and the problems persisted. And long story short, Steve will notice, I decided to swap the trigger back out of this, thinking that maybe what Steve was saying, it was pushing weird, or it wasn't for whatever reason. I knew that this was a working configuration, and I went back to this. But what I found was last summer, when me and Nihap were shooting this as a Glock, not as a chassied up version of this, we had a whole bunch of fails that day, very similar to what was taking place yesterday. And in the process of putting this trigger back in it, I found that I completely forgot that we had an issue with the little spring that goes around the slide stop. And what was happening, and unfortunately I didn't find this until I got home, so now I'll have to go back out to the range, is when I held the gun like this and pressed on the trigger, the spring had bent. The spring was bent. I just never replaced it. Me and Nihap brought up a picture off of Google of exactly how the spring went, and we kind of bent it back into place. Well, it must have had a little hook on the end, and somewhere while it was cycling, it grabbed the end of the spring for the slide release, and it pulled it sideways, and basically it had and it's normally kind of looks like this. It goes around and up, and it pins up. It's in between that pin, and it rests against that pin. It had bent over sideways, and it had gotten lodged against the side of the trigger. So when I shot, and the gun cycled back, as I was keeping my finger on the trigger so I could get the reset, it was actually pushing. It was doing that. It was pushing the slide stop up. And if it was doing that in any other time, it might have just barely caught it or whatever. It was altering the cycle rate, which would have explained improper feeds, definitely explained why it was locking back on me. The light primer strikes, I don't know. If for some reason it was somehow the slide wasn't coming all the way back because the slide stop was dragging on this for whatever reason, I don't know. All I know is I replaced it, and I just happened to have an extended, which I normally like to put on all of them anyway. So I have to go back out and give it another try. Otherwise, I could honestly not spend money. I could not be more sincere when I say for me, money well spent. The amount of extra fun that takes place with this. Like I said, I pulled the gun out. I know. I've never said that I'm a marksman. If at 15 yards, all my shots would have been in a circle the size of a heart by shooting this by hand. But shooting this in the MCK, I could literally do that, draw the smiley face like in the movie Lethal Weapon. The other thing I noticed is that the rounds were coming out and they were really hitting the base of the red dot hard. And I know I got issues because I wanted that centered over the ejection port, because right now it looks like it's too far forward. And if I move it to here, it looks like it's way too far back. So I had to compromise. I moved it outside of the ejection range. For some reason, if a shell was glancing and again changing the timing. So yeah, I gotta go back out again. But right now, even though that I had those issues, I'm at least glad that I found that. When I went and pulled the slide stop out and found that the spring was going like this and then to the side, I knew it was grabbing the side of the trigger, and that's exactly why the slide was locking back. So if you're on the fence about getting one of these for your 9mm or your 40, or maybe you have a 45 or a 10mm, after just the one session going out there, I could not be more happy with the results of this. It turned my 10mm pistol into a carbine, and the accuracy just went through the roof. Just like I said, though, Christine, when she fired toms for the very first time, just completely carved out the red dot. Put like 17 rounds in a dime. Yeah. Okay. Oops, my bad. Let's see. Missed on the Flask 41 was NIHAP saying this video needs more party, horn, and whiskey. Invader 1956. Hey, I'm another person who just started watching Mr. Holster vids. This is on the Flask 34 saying goodbye to Mr. Holster. Absolutely earthy stuff. Hate to hear of his passing. He has much to offer peeps if they will just go back and watch his stuff. Rest in peace, Mr. Holster. Invader 1956. I do not know if you are going to see me see this or say this. You have 2 videos from 9 years ago and a coyote video from 6 years ago. I am going to subscribe and ring the little bell. I will have to come back and personally leave a reply for you. Yeah, and right now I am very glad that he never had the time to delete his whole channel. His whole channel should stay up. His whole channel should be there as long as possible, which is also why John Solar has a entire pile of hard drives already, and if he hasn't already started, he will be downloading Mr. Holster's entire channel, just like he did with Ed and just like he did with Justin. Frontline Cigars was one on the raspberry chocolate. Crazy Scotsman says fucker. Scotsman says second. Then Scotsman says whiskey. Well, I tell you what, Scotsman, I don't know exactly what I have in my hands as of this moment in time, but I'm not disliking it at all. I should have never put David Brown's meat in my mouth. Yeah, it's like the more time I give it, the cleaner the. Yeah, it's got some good flavors. Hold that thought. Just look at the girl. Just look at the girl. Ignore me. You look at the girl. Are you looking at the girl? Just look at that girl. Oh yeah. Yep. Bet you it'd take a fair amount of weight to get her to sink. It's not quite a mystery package. Shipped to Ebomi. Bulgaria. Probably got the coronavirus in it. And what in the fuck is the deal with toilet paper? I was over at our hardware store this afternoon, picking up some supplies for the latest project, and interesting shipping. Picking up supplies for our latest project, and I saw several people with nothing in their shopping carts but toilet paper. And evidently there's been such a run on it that the hardware store actually, now in all fairness, you could do your shopping there for toiletries and even food. They added that a few years back, but they actually had put piles, not on displays or even on pallets, just a big pile of toilet paper right at the checkout counters so people could grab it more easily. Just people wheeling around entire shopping carts with nothing in it but toilet paper. It was like, okay, I understand this whole prepping and whatever, and if for some reason we turn into, I know Mr. 27, he sent me a link, and I started watching it when we went out to lunch, and I didn't get a chance to finish it, but you know, there's some countries now that are, I guess, if you're a resident and they find you outside of your house, it's a huge penalty, like financial, like a felony for us or something like that. And so if you're stuck at home, yeah, you know, eventually, you know, you gotta wipe your little hiney and all, but why is it a run on toilet paper? Shouldn't it be a run at the grocery store? Shouldn't we be clearing the shelves out of lentils and beans and soup and all that shit? I mean, I've been to the grocery store and it looked like any other day at the grocery store. I didn't see any empty spots. I mean, even Thanksgiving and Christmas will bring some action. Okay, we got Dentlina's seeds. And I don't know if this is Czechoslovakian or what. Roasted sunflower seeds. Extra special selection. Well, not sure about extra special. It's I'd say it's pretty typical of, hate to say this, but it's pretty much typical of some of the lesser brand sunflower seeds I've had. The seeds look, if you go buy bird seed, sunflower seeds for birds, they're always the really dark black. They don't have the gray striping and kind of driftwood look that a regular sunflower seed has, and that's exactly how these look. And normally when you crack the shell to get to the nut, usually the shell ends up in two pieces, and every single one that I tried of those so far ended up with like 4 or 6 little chunks in your mouth. So I'll give them a try. I mean, I like sunflower seeds and all, but either that or the squirrels are going to end up with salt sodium overload. So, thanks whoever sent them. Frontline Blue Line Toro with 8 other people on a live video on YouTube. That's almost into its 2nd hour and 30-minute mark. RS1, 3rd. Stormy Coyote. Matt has salmon again. Now I want some. Yeah, shit. I almost detoured out of my way, but I knew Christine was going to the grocery store today. Oh, that was the other thing. That turned out really neat. After we were done shooting, me and David hit the Island Lake Inn, which is just down the street from the range, and they had a meat raffle going on, and I put $5 in and won a chance to go over to the table and pick something, and I picked a really big chuck roast. I didn't put it on the scale yet, but I would say somewhere between 4.5 and 5 pounds. And then David bought some of the second go around, and I put $2 in and didn't get anything. And he got like 3 different ones, and one of them ended up being picked, and that was the winner. And he went over, and by that point, he's like, yeah, it's like none of the stuff was really blowing his skirt up, and he's just like, well, what do you like that's left? And I said, I like the bag of seafood stuff. That looked pretty good. It had a couple things I've never had. Okay, what was in it was a great big bag of shrimp, pre-cooked, so you just thaw it and you got shrimp. And then 4 great big tuna steaks, and I think it was 4 big pieces of sockeye salmon, all ready to do what you want with. And I looked up some recipes, and I'm planning on cooking them on the grill. David gave it to me. He was just like, he said there wasn't really anything that he liked, and obviously didn't want it to go to waste, so thank you, David. Foodmaster 2, Gobble Gobble Snarf. Poco Loco, Not It. Bad me. I never put the name of. I never finished my due diligence last time. Poco Loco, Not It. Poco Loco, ha ha. Look, it's one of them babes with the fish. I was sending you random chicks with fish for like 1.5 years for no reason at all. I need to start that up again. Yeah, okay. Thank you, Poco. Poco sent me that one. Obviously, it wasn't the fish that I used the picture. It was her chest. Poco Local, stupid YouTube keeps censoring me. Fucker play Uncle Fucker. No, I'm not gonna ask. McLean, Eric, you need to stop. You're getting too flirty with my boy toy. Check yourself, bud. Okay, I'm calling it Scotch. I don't know about the year. Again, the aroma was yeah, I'm getting that aroma was leather, vanilla. And the taste? It's good. Now on the taste, I sort of get that vanilla, a light oak, and I am getting a little bit of that leather in there. This isn't too bad. I think, you know, I think I might give this guy an 8. Give this guy an 8. I don't even want to guess. I don't even want to guess on the cost. I'm hoping it's not really expensive, but I'm kind of getting the feeling that it could be up there a little bit, but still under $100 bottle, like a $60 or $70 bottle. What the hell's NIHAP? Could not be that. Oh yeah, I would say he's got to be like in the top 5 of the last people I texted. Okay, number 42. Frontline Cigars says, headed to the World of Wheels with Jack today. Well, maybe. Everything doesn't always go as planned. I hope your World of Wheels is better than ours. I remember the first time I went as a kid here in Duluth. It was like you'd expect. Cars from all over the United States. Lisa Welch. She was a Playboy Playmate, was here, signed or autographed a picture. I don't even know what happened to it. Got really sticky. And cars were awesome. A couple of years ago, me and Christine went, and it sucked. It was like you go over to. There's this, it's not, they went out of business, but it was the Kmart parking lot. And they had more cars, more nicer cars than the World of Wheels did. Hey. Sorry. And I gave it an 8. Frontline, intro babe, wow. Brew babe can barely see. I see you traded me for someone else. Your taste today is a lot worse than yesterday. The guy you had on last night was a stud. I'm seriously thinking about maybe doing up those tuna steaks on the grill tonight. I don't know. Frontline again. At least you have the right nut. I have a middle nut. Frontline. Finally, Matt's helping you with something. Frontline. I had a bunch of people today sub to you. Thanks. Frontline, I see she broke down and got a bottle of 99. Yes, she did. Found it right over at Keyport. Frontline, Mario Lemieux, I know how that whole thing with that X thing does, was better. 66 Pittsburgh Penguins. You know, I'm not going to argue with you about that. I don't get excited about. The only person that I ever got any excitement over was the Vikings football, and it was Chris Carter. The guy was unbelievable. I mean, again, it wasn't like, oh God, I have to plan my entire Sunday around some fucking sporting event. Frontline, if I ever see an order from Matt, it's going to be refunded right away. Matt Davis, what kind of salmon are you guys eating? We have 5 different salmon to fish from in Seattle, and they're all good smoked. Well, I don't remember what that said. I think it just said smoked salmon. Normally, when I go buy it, I buy sockeye salmon. The up at Kindle's Meats. It's, oh my God, it's just like, oh, it's so rich and decadent. It just explodes on your tongue like something that happens to Joey at the truck stop on a Friday night. Smile Money says, I have an Alaskan cruise booked for August, starting in Seattle, with a salmon fishing trip on the itinerary. Old people, the virus, and Seattle may not be the best idea. Wade, the new MacGyver sucked in a very bad way. EMT Rail fan, the Brew Girl's bottom attire kind of has the U.S. Air Force logo look to it. USAF Ed would approve. Hashtag be like Ed. J-Dog, here at work. J-Dog, fuck you and your full head of hair. When my grandfather died, it was all gray, but it was all there. And me, personally, at least if it like all fell out, Christine couldn't bitch. It wasn't like, what am I gonna do? I'm not gonna wear a fucking toupee. But nope, lucky me, I'm not even getting the receding. Like I said, the gray, it's like started right there, and of course, you know, this is just, never mind. Could it be NIHAP knocking at our door? Connemara Peated Single Malt Irish Whiskey. Wow, okay. So, I can't call it Scotch. Damn it. Okay. Sorry, I want to look this up and find out something about it. Let's see here. I got bottles as low as $50, and I have bottles as expensive as $75. Single malt. As a 5-star rating, peated single malt Irish whiskey. Ow. Well, here's one that has a lot more reviews, and it has 4.5 stars. Huh. It's kind of a cool looking little bottle. Inspired by Ireland's ancient distilling tradition. Smooth, sweet malt taste of complex peat flavors make it truly unique Irish whiskey. Huh. Okay. I'm sorry, I could conference with him later. What did you think? A little Irish whiskey for you lads. See? Worked out, Scotsman. Well, not really. I maybe doesn't hold a grudge. Where were we? Wade. Jeff has always been a great guy and one of my favorite channels. Another guy who married above his station. J-Dog, breakfast anytime. Damn right. Brad Thomas. All in, balls out. Mike Gillian. The beer does sound good. Cheers. It wasn't bad. Smile Money, maybe the hair has to be Lars length. Yeah, you're not even funny. Smile Money, Matt no longer blow starts his truck, but has he been rehabilitated? Hope so. Next time he will be a boy toy in C Block C. Doesn't sound good, as he's already thinking he may need Lyft or Uber apps. Jolson, boycotting this shit. Ain't got time for 2 hours of Matt going off topic. Smile Money. Matt, watch out for the crotch cam. Joey says it has a hard probe function. Sharky. I'm not much of a snake person, but damn, those intro boobs. Hey, Matt. I only see the Desert Eagle at start. I need more guns. The picture looks less reddish. Show the MCK and see if it looks gray instead of green. And then let's go fishing with the brew babe. Bring the fillet knife. Oh, well, I showed it, but does it look more gray now? The problem is it all depends on what lights are. See, now I did this last time. This light has a natural look to it, so it's in the wrong spectrum. These are the no, and I'm not gonna cap the brew girl. Yeah, this thing is stupid. I'm so disappointed I got one. I wish I would have got two. Seriously, the prices are because the MCK 2.0 is now available. So the MCK Gen 4, which is what that is, the prices have come way down. You can, for $150 now, 150 or $155, you could get one of those for your G17, your G19. I'm honestly contemplating it. It's just, they're just a frickin' blast. No pun intended. Like I said, the thing that honestly probably shocked me the most is the increase in accuracy. I mean, it's still the same Glock, right? But talk about a lot better platform for it. I have liked it. Doesn't really surprise me. Okay, let's get this shit over with. Oh yeah, good. Oda 71. Old Navy has all stretch jeans. Well, that's probably where the homo shops. Pre-dawn death. The picture quality is way better without the red tint. The picture does blur once in a while, but that's due to the face recognition. I turned mine off and no blur since. I'll have to see where I can turn that off. Sharky, an hour and 20 minutes in and you haven't even touched the Eagle. Fun fact. You can take a shirt and just wash your ass if you push comes to shove. Toilet paper is just a convenience. I'd be more worried about food. Exactly. I can't believe all these dumb fucks that are like selling the fuck out of toilet paper. Big deal. I mean, I I could go through old newspapers. You know, make it an exercise program first. You got to ball it up and get it nice and soft. Then you wipe your ass with it. Shit. We could pretend we're fucking towel heads and not even use toilet paper. Just use our hand. Smile Money, Matt, and Cigar Logic. I need to take a cigarette break in between puffs on a cigar. The boy has just overdoes everything. Clyde, the man, you got everybody's meat in your mouth. Glad Matt's black. Frontline Steve just didn't give us wood. Oh, back, sorry. Didn't give us wood. Laugh out loud. Gotta love Wilson Pickett. Revolution. Mr. 27, Intro Babe, Yum. Brew Babe, yummy, yummy. Holding her big fish. Oh, yeah, she got a fish. I got a fish she can hold. Mr. 27, no whiskey loving Canadian guy here yet. Yeah, that one time he disappeared for 2 or 3 years. I hope that doesn't happen again. Gunwild, no Matt doesn't look feminine. He has too much forehead. Gunwild, I don't even bother leaving comments on big channels anymore. They are no good. They are too good to reply to us ordinary folk. Yeah, tell me about it. See, that's why I try to respond to all comments. I mean, you know, like for instance, you know, the last Ebomi video on the 4006 went up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I was sleeping like a little bitch, and I haven't had the opportunity to answer many comments on it, but I at least acknowledge that people have left the comment by leaving a heart. So I'm surprised though. There's a couple of the bigger channels that usually always comment back. Well, he wasn't really big, and he's very down to earth, and that's Eric Petway. Scott from, I was like worried for a second, felt something overly hard. Yeah, I'll just leave that right there. And I'm like, oh, I hope I didn't chip another tooth, but it was a piece of sunflower seed that had gotten wedgied. Scott from something ballistic. He does Full Auto Fridays, and his channel is huge because he gets his, well, that's the nasty circle that never gets to be fulfilled on smaller channels. You know, if somebody would like to send Gunwild 1 a BMG 50 and a Smith & Wesson 500 and a Smith & Wesson 460, I mean, just keep sending Big Jeff big fucking cool ass guns. I can guarantee you he'll go out and blow shit up, and his channel will blow up and go right off the fucking map. I mean, that's what happened to my buddy Andrew at GY6 Vids. He knew people. He would go from his home in Colorado, drive down to Florida, spend 2 weeks in Florida, and film 1 year's worth of videos. And then he had a year. He would release one a month. And his channel took off because he was like shooting 250 pounds of in the red exploding targets, shooting BMG 50s and full auto this and full auto that, and it's just self-perpetuates itself. You know, it's like, yeah, if I wanted to just take and, you know, doing a video where I could probably take the Desert Eagle and call it stuff shot with the Desert Eagle. Hell, there's this doofus that's out in the desert that does that. I don't remember. It's the name of his channel is his name, and he's always shooting stuff with his Desert Eagle 50. I mean, that's fine, but I enjoy this. I enjoy the interaction. I enjoy the friends that I've made. When we all get together, the last fucking thing I care about is the camera. I'm sorry for the rest of you, because I know a lot of you like to, live vicariously through when we get together, but it's family. It's my crazy family. And for the most time, I care less. I mean, yeah, I know, Smile Money and John Solar is like, hey, let's try to do something over here on the Ebomi channel and just see. And for the most part, yeah, it's been working. Putting up a video, I try to make sure that I don't do just sponsored stuff. Like if someone sends me something, I mean, I know I've got some. I try to mix them in, and I got stuff coming up. I've got this this WowTech the A6 flashlight, and so far I have to say I've actually been very, very impressed with this little guy. Not to mention it's small and it like disappears in your pocket. And it's not an Olight, because they suck. And I just looked at a really bright light. Gunwild, Matt calls bullshit on me not needing to relight a Blue Line cigar. How the fuck does he know what I do or don't do? Kiss my fat white ass, Matt. Love you. Dave Brown, here at work. Cobra wants to know if David's boss knows. Secret employee, David says. Joey Cuz here too. Joey, someone needs to get a wig for Matt now. A nut hair wig, says Cobra. Cobra, tally ho, I'm here. Cobra, Eric's magic touchy screen. It's not Scotch because it's Irish peated whiskey. Guys, this keeps getting better every time I have a sip of it. Joey, just when you thought Matt couldn't fuck up a video and make it any worse, a Loma company gets involved. Unsubbed. Oh, he has unsudded. Cobra says unsudded. Joey, do you have something against soap? Don't you dare edit your comment. Cobra, shots. Cap gun shots. Okay. Don't remember if this got reloaded or not. But I got these new 10mm caps. Okay. Now, when I said that the Glock, when the Glock was having light primer strikes, does that look like a fucking light primer strike to you? I mean, good God, look at that. No, I think there was a problem. There was a problem with some fucking primers, and the ammo that I was shooting was S&B. This particular one was actually one of my brother-in-law's reloads. He had a batch of Winchester primers that sucked, and I put them all aside. That batch that he gave me, that he goes, I'm having problems with my primers. You may want to put this into a range pile and not into a reliability pile. And this bag, this was one of them that went out. I put 15 rounds in the mag, and of 15 shots, I had 5 that didn't go off. And this is the way it looks. You cannot tell me that there is an issue with that gun. Sorry, Cobra, I digress. We tried the hot ones. We tried the hot ones in the M16. I gotta get some more of these ones. These ones are actually on the edge. no, not already having problems with this one, are we? Shit. Shit! You know, did I even see the difference on this? Adults have to be a lot easier on things like this than kids. So I can't even imagine what they're thinking by durability. Come on, let's get out of here. Ripco Burnout, giant pubic hair under the beer label. That's going to be a magic beer. Cobra. I like watching the original MacGyver, and actually the things MacGyver made were based on real science. They were stretched to the extreme, but all theoretically possible. There was a big premise the show writers had to follow. But who the hell carries around duct tape and a Swiss Army knife with them? All right, preppers. Laugh out loud. Now, the new MacGyver. Yes, apparently in its 4th season. I watched season 1 and found it lacking. Maybe I should revisit it if it lasted this long. I didn't even know they made a new one, so that's how popular it is with me. Cobra, Agent Chaos doesn't call people. His ass does. Be grateful for the call. Stephen Hobson led. Mr. Hickok is all about the money. If you're not paying him, he doesn't care. When the NRA had huge backlash, he decided not to lose followers. He'd make just 3 or 4 videos saying that he doesn't support the NRA at the moment. Video number 5, where he was saying to click the link for the NRA site. Matt Davis, no toilet paper in Seattle. What the fuck? See, I don't know, can you go to the grocery store and buy food? Because if you can go to the fucking grocery store and buy food, you kind of have to have that before you need the toilet paper. If you know what I mean. Steven, iPhones are for simple folk. Nice, simple folk phone. Matt, I used to like you. Cobra, I like it when you talk about cold boring it. Steven again, ooh, it's Christopher. Hugs, little buddy. Where is his Miller High Life? Cadillac V, laugh out loud, it's because I had a Cadillac CTS V. Cadillac V, class, or cheesy, I know. Cheers. Harmarsh 2, watching Sunday night at 11 p.m. Busy day. Harmarsh 2, is that I know who you're talking about, the chick on the computer. As far as I know, no, it's not. I mean, I know who she is. She's usually a blonde, and this girl had darker hair. And I want to say that Diz or Darcilza, she actually has. I think the girl I had holding the fish had nicer breasts, but the other girl, your girl here, they're a little bit bigger. Stephen Hobson led with the last comment. I wish they made a CAA brace for the G34. I'd buy one. Oops. Oh, I'm going to take this. Standing in. Did I hit the refresh button? Nobody. There is not a single person in the Two Hearted Ale Club. I can try to hit the right button. No, I'm sorry. I guess I should be disappointed that none of my friends bothered showing up. But on the other hand, it's been an hour, and now we can get out of here. Okay, cheers, guys. I hope you had a great Monday. And thank you, NIHAP, for Flask number 42. That was really good. I really liked it. And whoever sent the squirrel food, cheers, guys.